The procedures to follow is once we've received your application form and you are accepted on the course, we will then forward you various modules over a 4 to 6 months period. Now these modules will accompany you with the advanced work as well. Now the course is in two parts. Think of one part as the theoretical part and the other part is the practical part. Both can be done together or they can be piggybacked. Most people tend to do them together. And there are various questions to be answered at various intervals, and then there's various examinations and accreditation procedures to go through, both in the practical and in the theoretical part of it. Therefore, in the classroom, you're not bogged down with theory, but we're focusing mainly on the practical aspects of hypnotherapy. The business prospects of the course, can I make a living out of this? And again, it depends on where you're coming from. For example, many counselors would take up this course to use along with their work, or teachers or doctors may use it in pain management, or dentists or psychologists would use it in their clinical work, or people who are thinking of retirement or a second career or a part-time career. It can be quite lucrative, especially in this time where people are becoming more health conscious and want to help people to stop smoking or lose weight, or it is the age of depression and anxiety, and with the financial crisis looming, a lot of people are suffering tremendous frustrations and they need psychological help to deal with these things. So a lot of therapists, this is the year 2010, they're averaging €100 per session. Some, depending on where you are in the country, can charge a bit more or a bit less. So it can be quite lucrative and a very rewarding career, and you can certainly add tens of thousands of pounds to your annual income by successfully completing this course. Regarding setting up in private practice, the course has a module specific to business studies, and we sometimes bring in guest lecturers to speak about this, which will cover all kinds of areas, such as the best location to set up in private practice, how much you should charge, how you advertise, how you promote your business in general. And this is covered extensively in the course. Most graduates who have successfully completed a course have gone on to successfully complete either a full-time practice or a part-time practice. Some of our graduates would start on a part-time basis, maybe on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday working, and then eventually branch out into full-time, depending on the effort they put in. So depending on the money that you want to invest in your career will depend on the response that you're going to get. But all these aspects are well covered in the course. You're probably wondering what type of therapy ICHP teaches in the course, or on the course. And we are heavily involved in hypnosis, and hypnosis is just a trance state, it's a neutral state. But in the state then we use both suggestion therapy and analytical therapy. Suggestion therapy is whereby you're learning how to suggest symptomology away, such as smoking, slimming, nail biting, pre-test exam nerves. And then analytical therapy for the more ingrained problem, which could take on average 8 to 10 sessions with clients. And that's for depression, stress, fears, phobias, anxieties, emotional problems, those type of problems that clients have something going on inside themselves but outside their own control, and they can't do anything about it. They need help for this to overcome these problems. So we use the BCHAPS model, which is brief, clinical, hypnoanalytical psychotherapy, solution focused. Brief meaning that it takes on average 8 to 12 sessions. Clinical meaning that it's done in a clinical session, in a clinical way, such as counselors or psychotherapists. Hypnoanalytical is where we're heavily invested in finding and removing the root causes of the problems. Otherwise you may have a thing called symptom substitution taking place, such as somebody giving up smoking, taking up overeating or whatever. and then S is for solution focused. Now, a lot of these therapies are based on Freudian concepts, Jungian concepts, and Adler and so forth, and they're brought up to date, and we also incorporate NLP and cognitive therapy and the cutting edge therapy. We teach mainly various techniques that have been successfully used in hypnotherapy, and it's we teach technique-based interventions, and they are done in groups within the classroom during the course. The course are conducted both in Dublin and in Cork City. In Dublin, we conduct a course in the Marina Institute of Education, which is just off Griffith Avenue. And in Cork, it's in 6 Tuckey Street, Cork City in Therapy House, usually on a Wednesday night. The courses in Dublin are usually weekends, on a Saturday and Sunday, from 9 to 5 approximately. Of course, these dates may vary. The main tutor on the course is myself, Dr. Joe Keaney, as I have taught thousands of graduates over the last 20 years using hypnopsychotherapy specifically, because the BCHAPS model is so specific, and I enjoy teaching. Now, when clients come in to see me, we'll say this is the chair, this is the trance chair. Clients are coming expecting to be hypnotized. What the mind can perceive and believe it will achieve. Einstein used to say, our imagination is a preview of life's coming attractions. So when clients are not just coming to me off the street, hopefully clients are coming to me with a very powerful pre-hypnotic suggestion. What's that pre-hypnotic suggestion? They'll have read the what? I don't see clients unless they've read the brochure. Are you with me? Why? Because it outlines the contract, it tells them the prices, it gets rid of the time wasters, and it's a way of pre-programming the client. Because the client does go through a process before they come in to see you. And some clients may be thinking about coming for 5 years even, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, God only knows. Do you understand? Until eventually they decide, I've got a problem, there's something going on inside me, it's outside my control, I need some help to deal with this thing. Yeah? The length of time the course will take to do will depend on the time available to you and the energy you want to put into it. Bear in mind there's a theoretical side and a practical side. Both sides have modules, which there is coursework, some of which is done at home, others is done in the classroom. Now, some people can do, depending if they've got a lot of time available to them, can get through it in a year, 2 years. Other people can take 2 to 3 years to do the advanced course. An induction is basically a ritual that the therapist uses with the client to bring about an altered state of awareness, or to bring a client into trance, whereby the therapist can access the subconscious of the mind of the client. Once the client has accessed the subconscious mind of the client, then the therapist is focusing on deepening the trance. And a trance can go from light, medium, deep, somnambulistic. And although a lot of work can be done in the light to medium stage, it's important that the clients and students learn somnambulism, because somnambulism is an ideal state where to teach pain relief or amnesia or other hypnotic phenomena. In the classroom during the course, the student is taught over 30 different hypnotic techniques. One of them, which would be the Elman technique, whereby the palm of the hand is brought up and specific suggestions are introduced so that the client will close their eyes and go into trance, into an altered state of awareness. This type of instant induction is so important the student learns, because a lot of hypnotherapy schools tend to bore their clients into trance, and to bring about trance could take about 20-25 minutes. As with ICHP, we teach our students how to put clients into trance in less than 30 seconds. The backward sway test is so important because it helps clients disassociate from the conscious to the subconscious, where they lose equilibrium, and thereby they can begin to trust their deeper minds to take control. In other words, they're learning to let go consciously. Another technique students of hypnotherapy are taught in the classroom is the direct gaze method. Again, it's so important because hypnosis has a lot to do with the eyes, and the eyes are the windows to the soul. And to bring about hypnosis, students need to be able to look into the eyes and see a tremendous amount of hypnotic phenomena taking place in the eyes to bring about instant hypnosis. And this is done in a nice, relaxing, gentle way. In the classroom, during the course, students are not subjected to long lectures. In fact, it's a very practical class. Students are working from almost 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening. We normally would demonstrate a technique first. The tutor would demonstrate a technique on one of the students and explain it in depth what's happening, so they get a visual explanation of the various techniques being taught. Then these students are broken up into groups of 3, whereby they practice on each other. In this practice, one person becomes the therapist, one becomes the observer, and one becomes the client, and they would rotate around until they've all experienced the various techniques. And this is a wonderful way of learning, both seeing, experiencing, and observing. And in the classroom, we teach over 30 different hypnotic techniques. And we also teach various hypnotic interventions, such as the trance phenomena. And in the trance phenomena itself, there's over 35 different trance phenomena the student needs to watch out for and be aware of and experience themselves, and to use that to bring about change. We teach pain management during the course, so you need to learn how to bring a client down into the somnambulistic state. And in some cases, they'll observe a needle being administered in deep hypnosis to bring about anesthesia. Fast phobia cures are taught, whereby you learn how to get rid of a phobia in a client in a matter of hours. Other techniques such as pinpoint analysis and analytical techniques are taught. Future pacing, whereby in trance you're asking the client to go forward in time where they are totally free of the symptomology, and discussing and various interventions you can use with them. And of course, during the class as well, students would break up into groups and they talk about the various techniques they've experienced and write up about them. Also, they're being supervised during all of this time. And it's a wonderful way to bring about change in oneself, because this happens in the classroom when you're experiencing technique. You're actually working on real problems with yourself, and be prepared to delve into those areas that you normally wouldn't. Another important aspect that you'll be taught in the classroom is trance management. And again, to be able to bring a client from a total waking state down into a deep trance state, and to manage the trance right through, how to deal with abreactions, how to get the client to talk back to you, how to use suggestions in a positive way to bring about change. And there's over 100 different techniques that we use. In fact, you'll be learning from our main manual, which is called the Techniques Checklist, and you'll be monitored on those right through the course. So when you're working on each other, you're actually bringing about change in yourself, because you're working on real issues, real life issues with each other. On completion of the course, you'll have received a diploma in hypnotherapy and psychotherapy and an advanced practical diploma in clinical hypnotherapy and psychotherapy. And currently we're working on an upgrade program, an upgrade BA program, which would involve more practicals. And once the class has completed all of those, we have a graduation ceremony. Usually it's the last class, and students come together where they have a graduation ceremony, and they'll be presented individually with their certificates. Most graduates tend to gown up for the occasion. It's a wonderful, joyous occasion because they have built up a network, a support network of friends that can help them throughout their careers. And this is so important as well, that you have a network to do that. And these students will go on to do supervision, because supervision is another aspect of the course, and people need 500 clinical hours of supervision before they are totally accredited. And during the graduation, normally students will have after the graduation ceremony where they bring their families, they would go off and have a night out, either a meal together or go to a disco or whatever. And it's a wonderful way to finish the course. And of course, during the course as well, people will be interneting each other. They'll have a network to connect with each other so they can meet each other in the postgraduate trainings. You're probably wondering what the course will do for you. The course will give you the opportunity to become your own boss. You decide when to work, you decide when you want to do the therapy. So if you are retired, you decide whether you want to work on a weekend or Monday and Tuesday and spend the rest of the time playing golf, or if you already have a present career, you can augment your income by working on weekends or whatever time suits you. The course will also give you the qualification to become a member of any ethical hypnotherapy, psychotherapy association in Ireland, England and throughout the world. Our courses are recognized in most countries. It'll also give you the qualifications to become insured. It's so important in this work to have professional indemnity insurance, and it'll give you the qualifications to do that. It also gives you the foundation to pursue additional postgraduate training, and allows you to be supervised and become a member of a reputable association in Ireland also. The course will also provide you with additional skills so that you can help your fellow man with any mental and emotional problems. And you'll find that with the skills of hypnopsychotherapy, that you can help any client, anywhere, anytime, with any particular symptomology if you just follow the procedures outlined in the course. And it gives therapists tremendous confidence that they can work with clients and help clients. You'll be learning all these tremendous new healing techniques that can help in all areas, such as cancers or gut problems or physical problems, emotional problems.